All right, y'all, welcome back, welcome in, and bear down. I appreciate every one of you who tune in to the Bear Down Sports Podcast. This is a fun thing for me to do. You guys make it possible, and I never forget that. Today, we will be doing the giveaways for the first couple of giveaways that we promised. The 10,000 subscriber giveaway for the jersey and the first 25 member giveaway for the Rydell Mini Sports Helmet. So that will happen a little later on in the show, but today we are going to focus back on one of the things that got us started, kind of the Free Talk Tuesday type of episode. And I thought about this one the whole way on my drive yesterday, 5-hour drive. I thought about this the whole way home. How unrealistic that we are sometimes as Bears fans. And hey, I'm right in there. You guys have seen that. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw my expectations or my predictions for Caleb this first year of his rookie year. They were completely out there, man. I was hopped up. I was hopped up on some Bears excitement, I'll tell you that much. I was out there. But Caleb did well. Anybody who's saying otherwise, man, Bears Twitter, people going back and forth. It's a crazy place. This Bears fandom. It's a crazy place. I feel like I'm growing a little bit in this podcaster thing. I feel like I'm growing with my realistic takes, how I view things, where I view things. So it all comes together. So fully in support of Caleb Williams today. This is my Caleb Williams jersey. I don't think I've worn it on a podcast yet, though. I wear it for some game day stuff, and it's always fun for me to. I like to get the first round pick. So I have a Caleb, a Rome. I got a Darnell Wright from last year. I like to take jerseys of the first round picks. That's kind of what I do. It's kind of my thing. I've got some other ones too. DJ Moore. When we traded for him, I got DJ Moore. So I like supporting the team. Appreciate you guys supporting me. But in that same concept, I believe Ryan Poles is growing as a general manager as well. And so we're going to talk about that concept, the brick by brick that we hear about so much in Bears world. Building this team brick by brick and what that means and how he's doing that and where we are. And I think it's understated quite a bit how decimated this team was after Ryan Pace, who was trying to purchase championships. He was trying to basically trade away all our assets to go all in on certain players, a la Khalil Mack. It's fine if you're one piece away. I don't think the Bears have ever been one piece away. We're not really, at least recently, we're not really that close. So we get all excited when things happen, and some of us see that beforehand. That's the whole concept of the haul, trading down for the haul, putting off drafting a quarterback. And I said the 2026 draft class would be special, and we could always wait that long because we got to build in the trenches and we got to build wide receivers because we haven't had wide receivers forever. We haven't, and before we traded for DJ Moore, look at the history of our wide receivers. We hadn't been taking those first, second round wide receivers forever. In fact, the last time we did, Kevin White ended up getting injured and he ended up not panning out for us as the Bears. So, we trade for Chase Claypool and then Ryan Poles gets slaughtered over that one and the fan base hates him and blah, blah, blah. Fact is, he's made a lot of really good moves, and this isn't going to be a Ryan Poles video as far as that, but this team really was more devastated, more decimated, more torn apart. The first moves he made, was coming in here, traded away Mack to the Chargers, and then trading away to the Ravens. Why can't I think? Roquan Smith, trading away Roquan Smith, and really kind of unhauling the team just to try to put it back together. And that's common for a GM, put their stamp on the team and really try to get as much capital to rebuild the process. You've kind of got a little open window and some leeway as you come into a job that you can do those things and you can have a little flexibility. You're not going to get fired year one. But as we've gone on this journey of trying to build, you take Justin Fields and you traded away some draft capital for that, traded away a first, and then we didn't have the draft capital. So we'll review some of those things of where Ryan Poles has come from. But what I was noticing, and I mentioned this yesterday, as I watched the Super Bowl, it's not always your slam dunk splashes. Zach Bond was not a slam dunk splash this last offseason. He hit, and he hit hard for the Eagles. Milton Williams, good prospect, but continued to develop. Josh Sweat, continue, and man, look where they are now. But one thing that they did was they continue to invest on the offensive line, on the defensive line. And you even look at our foes from the division, the Green Bay Packers. They brag about how they have 5 wide receiver ones and how they're, A, B, C. This guy could be the wide receiver one, and Dobbs is a wide receiver one, and Dontavian Wicks is wide receiver one. And then all of a sudden their season doesn't go as planned. And then they say, well, we need to go invest in a wide receiver one. I'm not worried about the Bears with a wide receiver one. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, we did it. Not worried about our quarterback. We did it. Whether people agree with that or not, really, hell of a season for a rookie quarterback. It really was. Really good job by him. The sky's the limit. And now you get this all-star studded staff coming in here, highlighted by Ben Johnson and his play caller ability and his ability to, make things look different yet look the same. So concepts where he can make teams double guess him. And I think he's going to help with Caleb's biggest weakness is being able to get guys open. He's going to help Caleb to understand reads and concepts and find, there's that guy on the defense you've really got to look off who's, for us, it's Jalen Johnson. You've got to get rid of Jalen Johnson to be able to be successful against us. Well, whatever team we're facing, I think Ben Johnson's the master at saying, okay, we got to deceive this guy. Caleb, this is what you got to do. You got to do a fake read here. You got to make this look this way and make it look different the next play. And we're going to get him to suck and bite on this. And then you've got a wide open Rome Odunze on the sideline. You can do a contested jump ball catch for him. You got DJ's sprinting out here on this deception, and then he's going to be wide open. He'll go right down the side. I mean, there's going to be so many opportunities with Ben Johnson that are so different. Now, I haven't gotten too deep in the coaches' videos because, we saw how that went last year. But this does feel different. It really does feel different this year compared to last year. Okay. So for those who don't know this format, this is my Free Talk Tuesday format. It's a little bit different. I kind of rant and rave, and then I'm going to bring my graphics in. I'm going to show you guys the stuff that I get to, usually a half hour, 45-minute episode. I will cut parts of these out. I'll do different parts. I'm going to do a prospect profile. I've been doing those every day, so I had to include that, so I'm getting that in there. I'll do the giveaway. It's all part of my Free Talk Tuesday, but this, to me, is the highlight of where we're headed this offseason. You hear the rumors of Ashton Jeanty. Those aren't started by the Chicago Bears. You hear the rumors, we're going to take a running back in round 1. We're going to take, this isn't the year for that. And then you hear, Eddie George in his comments about the Bears and them, he was obviously trying to hype up Jenkins and Henderson from Ohio State because he went to Ohio State and he loves Ohio State. But he talked about how there will be a game plan for the Bears to be able to bring in a running back. I believe it. But look at how many picks we have in the top 100. Now probably 5, potentially. But the investment on the offensive and defensive lines on this Bears team, it's not been there since Ryan Poles rebuilt. But now he's got his quarterback. He's got his wide receivers. He's got his tight end. He's got some really good defensive backs. The defense is pretty set on the secondary. We can agree or disagree or complain or not about the linebackers, but reality is we probably have it set for one more year. I would highly doubt we trade Tremaine Edmonds this year after the investment with the other needs that we have to focus on with the offensive and defensive line. And then you see recently at the Senior Bowl, Nicholas Moreano, who I highly, highly respect in Bears media, does a really good job on the sidelines. It's an absolute travesty how he got canned, basically. I was happy to see him teaming up with Windy City Sports Guards, being able to be at House Hall, be able to do his thing still. I really respect him a lot. Nothing but praise for him. But he and several others who were at the Senior Bowl commented that Ryan Poles didn't leave the offensive line and defensive line drills, that he was heavily focused on the offensive line and defensive line. Now, there is other stories where, and if you follow these things closely, I absolutely consume this stuff. I want to be completely in the know. I want to share that with you guys. Ian Cunningham did go down to the running backs, and he did check out the running backs as part of that too. So it's not like they stayed there the entire time. They checked out the whole scene, but there was a heavy investment and many, many pictures and videos of them staying right there watching all the drills, all the practices, especially the first couple days on the offensive linemen and defensive linemen facing off against each other. Well, with pick number 10, pick number 39, pick number 41, it's a good guess that you're going to have to invest heavily if we finally want to get over that hump with not investing. You look at the Packers. That's what I was getting at with that. They got their wide receivers that they pick in the second, third, fourth. They're always picking in the first round. Lucas Van Ness, even if he doesn't pan out. Jordan Morgan, even if he doesn't pan out. They're investing in those first-round guys second-round guys because they know the trenches matter. And you watch the Super Bowl and you watch what's happening there. The trenches matter in protecting your quarterback. There's a lot Caleb can do, but Ryan Poles has not done a ton there. But this team really had to rebuild from the nuts and bolts up. From scratch, we had to rebuild this team. So this is that year where it comes around. I've made my crazy predictions. I've already committed this year. I'm not predicting the record of this team. I want the Bears to make the playoffs. That's what I think the Bears' goal, number one goal, would be as well. Obviously, they want to win the division. They want to win the conference. They want to win the Super Bowl. Those things all come in turn. I think from a realistic standpoint, we need to fix the trenches now, and we need to make the playoffs. And that's where we stand right now. So I've shown this several times as we've gone over it over and over and again. Here's where the team stands right now. So you've got, 4 guys on contract. Now, Ryan Poles did draft both these guys, through all 3 of these guys, and he traded for Ryan Bates, so he has made an investment. But look at how many free agents we have now. This team has lacked severe needs, and I'm not attacking because he's had to address multiple things, and he's taken his shots. He's gone out and gotten some guys. He's taken some shots here. They haven't all worked out, but what we haven't done is invested heavily on the offensive line in the draft. Well, this last year, we did that or 2 years ago, we did that with Darnell Wright, but then we needed to get the quarterback and the wide receiver. I mean, it's all, stacking those bricks, but building it slowly and not being unrealistic. And I think that's why Ryan Poles is getting his big extension. I think they realize he knows what he's doing and he's building this thing. On the defensive line, same thing. Traded for Montez Sweat. That was big. Drafted Jervon Dexter. Drafted Zach Pickens. Went out and signed in free agency DeMarcus Walker and Andrew Billings. Drafted Austin Booker. So there's been some work on it, but there's only so many premium spots. Well, are we going to go trade for a big name this year? I don't know. The rumors out there. If you listen to all those rumors, Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Bears are definitely going to get one of them, right? Well, I don't know, because you're going to have to give up some of that draft capital. And, we went out last year and we traded some of the draft capital away, late draft capital, which I don't complain about, to get Chris Williams, to get Darrell Taylor. Some of those, they cost draft capital. So we don't have a 4-year rookie, but those were 6th, 7th rounders that, would they have panned out? I don't know. But this is a look at the investment Ryan Poles has made for the trenches in trading for them. So we're going to kind of go over his investment in the draft and in trading. And so the big investment was Montez Sweat, obviously. Trading for Montez Sweat was huge. We got him. We extended him. That is an A-plus move in my book. These other ones, they're not bad moves, but are they worth the cost? Now, we don't know with Ryan Bates yet, if we even hang on to him. Rumors are that he could potentially be medically retired. Now, he got healthy at the end of last year, but then he ended up getting concussed. And, the shoulder was the big concern. It's been lingering over and over and over again. Before we traded for Ryan Bates, he was potentially, this is rumor, considering medically retiring. Well, that injury lingered into his year with us. We know Ryan Poles has liked him for a long time. We traded for Ryan Bates. We gave up a 5th-round pick for him, and he had 2 years left of control. I don't hate that move because when you're drafting in the 5th round, they really are prospects that you have higher hopes that you hope they can develop, but it's not a firm expectation. As we know through history, they don't always hit, and you're hoping they'll hit, but they don't always hit. A big part of that is development from the team, the coaching staff, getting the right people to develop these guys. But then taking a guy like Ryan Bates, who has the injury history, it's a little frustrating, but we got 2 years for a 5th rounder. We'll see this year. This is where the rubber meets the road with Ryan Bates. Is he worth it? I don't have the answer for that. The other 2 here, you got Chris Williams, who we did for a 7th round and 6th round pick swap, and then Darrell Taylor, who we got for a 6th rounder. So those 2 moves, I don't hate them, but they're 1-year rentals. So we're kind of taking away that 4-year window of, are we going to develop these guys? Well, we've got a bunch of picks this year. We got 6th and 7th rounders. We got a 5th rounder. We've got some of those. Will Ryan Poles use them for trade bait? I don't know. I kind of hope this year he doesn't. I'd like to see him go into a deeper draft like this one and spend that on some of those guys that might turn into a Trey Smith. Trey Smith was a 6th-round pick that might turn into a Terrell Smith for us at cornerback position. 6th rounder who's been a very successful contributor, in my opinion, probably should be a starter at some point on this team, if not this year. I don't know. He got drafted the same time as Tyreek Stevenson, so that one's a tough decision, but Terrell Smith has played very, very well. But here's some of the investment that the Bears have made at the running back position. So here's from my previous slide where I went over the entire roster. Here's where the Bears have invested. Now, a third rounder is right on that cusp. He's not going to be your starter, and you always know that he's not going to be a starter. So Karan Amagaji, third rounder, pick number 75. I think that's a solid pick. Now, many of you might disagree. Hindsight is 2020. We'll see going down the road. But he's a big left tackle with really good tape, long arms, over 36-inch arms. You can't find a left tackle in this class this year, okay, at the top of the draft, with over 36-inch arms. He's built to be an NFL left tackle. Will they develop him? I don't know. We can. I mean, we can be too hard on him for last year because he got thrust into the mix when he probably wasn't ready to be thrust into the mix. Obviously, he wasn't ready. But the Bears knew he was developmental. He was coming off injury. This first year was basically supposed to be, from all accounts, supposed to be a red shirt year for him. Supposed to be a year where he developed and where he was able to get a hold of the NFL system, get a hold of the playbook, get in there in practices, be able to develop and never have to fit into a game. We knew Braxton Jones' contract was coming to an end. Now this year, very pivotal year for Karan Amagaji. We'll see what he does, but I think it's huge for him this offseason, how he handles this, how he moves forward. Same can be said for Austin Booker. By many accounts, he's a third-round type of prospect, but I think Austin Booker knew how deep this year's edge class was. He was eligible to come to the draft last year. Very raw, extremely raw. He came out a year before everyone said he should, got drafted by the Bears in the 5th round. Many said he would be a third, possibly second-round pick if he stayed one more year. Developmental. This kind of shows you where the Bears mentality was last year. Did they want to win? Absolutely. I'm not saying they didn't want to win. But they were building brick by brick through the trenches to be able to establish this year. This coming year is where the rubber meets the road for the Bears. All right, the year before that, here's where the trenches. We did focus a little bit on the trenches here as well. You can see we have Darnell Wright, our first-round pick, Jervon Dexter, our first second-round pick, and then Zach Pickens, our third-round pick. Is Zach Pickens a bust? I don't know. I really don't have the answer to that one. It's going to be a pivotal year this year for him as well. Third year in the league. You saw Jervon Dexter make the turn last year. If Zach Pickens doesn't make that turn this year, I'm almost done with that situation. Then we drafted Travis Bell. That was it. Those four for the trenches. We had other needs, though. I mean, we've seen those needs since then. Cornerbacks, and I think we've done a good job at cornerbacks, getting these two guys, Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, extending Jalen Johnson to be able to have him long-term, and that helps shore up. So we don't have that as a need right now. Running back, we knew a running back need was coming. Roshan, not bad. We'll see where he develops as well. Tyler Scott, have no idea what's going on with him. I don't know why he's not playing in games. I don't have the answers to that. Hopefully he has an opportunity this year. Third year for him as well. And then Noah Sewell. Sorry, guys. Ate Taco Bell right before the show. Bad decision. Got the heartburn coming on. And then Kendall Williamson has safety as well. We let go of him early, and he's moved on. Now he's with the Chargers. All right, the year before that, this is all Ryan Poles. You see, we had to focus on the secondary before then, too, and we did. Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, too huge. This is why we don't have to focus. You hear us not talking about the secondary, at least not a lot. Jaquan Brisker being injured now, we probably do need to draft someone at safety at some point, but getting Elijah Hicks down here in the draft, pivotal. And all these trade backs, Ryan Poles knew in this very first draft class, he had to be, these are all 5th round and later after that third pick, 5th, 6th, 6th, 7th, 7th. Those are all picks used at the end of the draft, and some of them have hit. Braxton Jones was a hit, whether you want him to be the left tackle next year, 5th round, starting 3 years and really playing top half of the league. I think the 14th ranked left tackle, so not Pro Bowler, but that's a hit. Let's see here. Elijah Hicks, that's a hit in the 7th round. Absolutely. These guys off the team already. Tyree Carter, you're not going to hit every one of these late round draft picks. Who knows? Dominic Robinson had a better year last year. Probably his final year here. But this was how they had to go about building the team. So you see the trenches have not been hit and focused on as much, though, but we've got that secondary fixed. Wide receiver room is pretty solid. Quarterback is fixed. Now, this is the year where we have to absolutely hit and attack the trenches. Well, as all you guys know, as everyone knows, the Bears have the draft capital and the picks to be able to do it this year. We've got roughly $60 million of spendable. $78 million, if you don't count that, if you count the rollover cap plus our dead cap, and then take away our first year cap pool for rookies, those 8 rookies plus the higher ones will cost more. Will be roughly $14 million. Practice squad will be roughly $4 million. That leaves us with roughly $60 million in spendable cap. And they like to have a little buffer room in there, so they won't spend the whole thing. But then our draft picks up here, you see we have 10, 39, 41, 72. That's huge. And then today, if anybody's missed that, Albert Breer, about 7-8 hours ago now, I was assembling this and getting it ready together. Bears assistant GM Ian Cunningham will interview for the Jaguars general manager job on Friday, per sources. Cunningham is a strong candidate and has been since Liam Cohen's hiring to land the job. Ben Devine, the Chicago Bears are bracing to lose Ian Cunningham to the Jaguars. He's the favorite at GM there. So you've heard this for weeks and weeks and weeks. And the big news there is that the Jaguars have said openly that they're planning on not selecting their GM until mid to late February. And that was several weeks ago. I mean, that was in the end of January. So everybody wanted an answer. It's easy for us to look at that in a window and say, well, Ian Cunningham wouldn't take that job. Look at the joke that Liam Cohen has been since he got there. Duval. I mean, we make our jokes. They're just like any other team, though. Jaguars fans are just like Bears fans, where they want their guys to make the right decisions. And we were high on Shane Waldron last year. Well, now Shane Waldron's going there as well. And you got Liam Cohen, who we didn't even bring in for an interview. We didn't even consider him for an interview. There were rumors, but we never made a formal request to interview Liam Cohen. Well, Ian Cunningham is a part of this staff, and he didn't want to interview Liam Cohen, right? So obviously Ian Cunningham won't want to go be the GM of the Jaguars. That's a dumpster fire. Why would he want to do that? It's easy to say he wouldn't want to do that. He wants to pick. He's one of the top GM candidates. He wants to pick the right fit for him and have it be perfect. Well, we know he interviewed with the Titans last year. And the reality of this situation, guys, Liam Cohen was hired before Ian Cunningham. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, Ian Cunningham essentially has a little bit of an out there. Now, I know this isn't the thought process he's going through his head. Maybe some of these things cross their mind. But if it goes south there, Liam Cohen's probably the first on that chopping block to be the negative recipient there. He's probably the first one that's going to get the negative repertoire. And even if not, these jobs don't come up all the time. New potential candidates rise. They become the cream of the crop all the time. Ian Cunningham may not be the hot name year after year after year after year. Now, he has been the last couple cycles. He's right up there, Colts assistant GM, and there's several of them. Several of them are the top candidates for these jobs. In my opinion, if he gets offered this job to be the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars, he's not going to turn it down because he's too snooty, because he's too proud, because he wants to wait for the perfect scenario. He wants to take his shot. Just think about it from your own perspective. If you're in those shoes, you've got the experience you have, and you're highly regarded, he's going to want to take his shot. He's got at least a couple years to turn it around. And me personally, if I'm going to apply for a job, if I'm seeking that job, I'm confident in my abilities to do it. Doesn't matter if Trevor Lawrence is my quarterback. Doesn't matter if Liam Cohen is my coach. I have the fortitude, the guts, the mental capacity to say I can absolutely slaughter this job. I'm going to kill it, and I'm going to prove to everyone. And these are the decisions I would make day one. Jaguars have some good draft picks. Their cap space, it's up in the air, but he can create some of those things as the GM. So I absolutely think if he gets offered the job, he will be going. He will take that job. That would be number 99 because of the Rooney Rule, and that is where it would be, right in front of the 49ers, who have currently the 99th overall pick. Now, there might be another comp pick awarded in the third round that would push us back, but as of right now, it would be the 99th overall pick is where we would pick with that Rooney Rule this year, and then we get another one next year. To be determined where that one lands, depending on how many people get comp picks, how many teams get comp picks. But that's where it would land. And then we've got those 4 other picks, 5th, 6th, 7th, 7th. And there's potential to be able to generate a couple more 6th or 5th, depending on trades. Will we be wheeling and dealing on March 10th, March 11th, March 12th, when free agency and trade openings happen? To be determined. We'll see. I think this team wants to build the roster rather than decimate it and take it all away. But that will be determined in the future from there. But we have a huge opportunity here. 10th, 39th, 41st, and 72nd is a huge opportunity to fix those trenches. So for those saying we're going to take a running back round one, just go back and look at our actual roster, where we stand. Complete lack of the offensive interior, needing help on those trenches, needing to develop those top players. I think Ryan Poles understands this, and I think it's time. He did it last year with the wide receiver and quarterback position. He said, you know what? Enough's enough. This is where we start the team from. You've got to have your quarterback. We're going to bring a wide receiver in to develop with him. They'll be teammates for the next 5 years at least. We're doing this the right way and getting our quarterback in place. The year before that, it was about fixing this offensive line, but also having to have so many other needs too. We had to fill some of those things. We went through all those picks, fixing the defensive backs before. Now, this is the year he has to fix the trenches. He has to. It's becoming more and more clearly apparent. As I take that away and you look at the needs, this is my own little graphic, but you look at the needs we have, look at the top needs here on the starters. These are the starters we need to focus on with our needs, whether in free agency or the draft. Left guard, center, right guard, defensive end, nose tackle. That is a huge core need right there. And I think Ryan Poles realizes that, and he'll use these pieces where they primarily fix the core needs there. Now, he does have some cap space. Will that be used to finally build some depth? I don't know. Maybe one of them or two of them will be used. You guys know my opinions there. That's not the point of this video. But I think he knows he's got to start building brick by brick. Not trading away all this capital for potential, but maybe there is someone. Maybe we do, trade for a Trey Hendrickson and extend them and use some of this capital and cap space. We'll see what happens. All this will be starting to become clear 4 weeks from yesterday. Wow. 3 weeks and 6 days from right now, free agency opens up. So that's going to be huge for the Bears. In the meantime, the other big news this morning, which is, isn't huge news. It's the Bears officially claimed Jordan McFadden now off of waivers. Now, you guys will remember that, what was it? January 10th, so a month ago from right now, I released this video explaining Jordan McFadden. Because it was at the beginning of the playoffs, because the window wasn't open for all those claims were put on hold. Now, we made the claim. We got him. It didn't become official. So I released that video on the 10th. We got Jordan McFadden. I've officially put him on the roster now, and he counts towards the Bears as of right after the Super Bowl. That was announced that the Bears did win that waiver claim. So there's on the Bears official site. This is what I keep showing you guys as we go along, where all those decisions and picks happen. So here's this one. As of yesterday, assigned offensive lineman Jordan McFadden via waivers. So we won the waiver claim for him. Now part of the team. Here's some of the other ones. If you guys have missed those, I've made videos on each one of these. Jordan Murray, Alex Cook, Joshua Miles, Maurice Alexander. The Bears are obviously looking at players and options they want to bring in for the 90-man roster. Jordan McFadden is actually on the roster. I'm not counting him towards the 51 for all our purposes here because basically it's a flyer. He was a 5th-round pick. As you can see now on his profile on PFF and everywhere else, he's officially on the Chicago Bears. 5th-round pick, so them waiving him essentially left very little dead cap. When you're in the 5th round, it's $1.1 million. So the dead cap on him, if we do end up cutting him, is only, 20, 50, 70. It's going to be, I actually didn't look it up, but it's going to be somewhere around there, 20, 50, $70,000. Not much, but as I reported before, I'm not going to go too deep on him today. He was a guard. He's just like this draft class. A lot of those tackles, a lot of those guys on the outside who are too small for those positions, who have shorter arms. He's 6'2", 303 pounds, so he's perfect size for center. Moves pretty quickly and decently, but did not pan out with the Chargers. They decided to let him go after trying him at guard. He's only played guard for them. Didn't play terribly. These are his preseason stats as you move me out of the way. His season stats right there. Not a whole lot to report. 5 pressures on 103 opportunities. And at guard, that's actually not terrible, but it's also not good. And they've had some good linemen that they've brought in. So the Chargers are looking good with their line. They had the flexibility to waive him. The Bears taking a flyer, basically. Just, this didn't cost us a draft pick. We bring him in. Doesn't cost really any difference in salary cap because if we end up waiving him and sending him to the practice squad or, if he does make the 53-man roster, it's a very minimal contract. So it doesn't equate to much. It is a good move in my book. Good move by Ryan Poles. I like him taking these type of waivers. Better than trading picks for sleeper shots like that. So as we know, last year, the 2024 90-man roster had 16 offensive linemen on it. Well, we've got these 4 guys under contract. Technically, Jordan McFadden is under contract as well. But I count him as more as a reserve because he's no guarantee for the team. Well, neither's Ryan Bates, but that's a whole different situation. So we've got these 4 and these 9. So we have about 7 more to fill in. These 6 need to be filled, so it's probably coming here. Then you might see one more shot. Maybe Bill Murray gets re-signed, and not one of these core 6, but he gets re-signed on a exclusive right free agency, which is a league minimum, $1.03 million. Maybe Matt Pryor gets re-signed, and he fills in as a backup here. Maybe Coleman Shelton as a backup center. So there's options for the Bears, but we'll see how it goes as we go along. There are a ton of huge prospects, and as I've committed to, I'm doing my 2025 NFL Draft Prospect Profiles every single day from now until the draft. And today's is one that I'm more excited about, Ariante Ursary. So I will cut this out of this and separate it for those who want to do specifically just watch the prospect profiles. I know a lot of people like just clicking on a player when they're thinking about them, and they like to view this and kind of see where they stand. So I'll release this in here. This will be part of the Free Talk Tuesday, but I am going to separate it out. So bring me off stage. Now let's have a little chat about Ariante Ursary. 2025 NFL Draft Prospect Profiles continuing. Ariante Ursary, left tackle from Minnesota. Man, he's a big boy. I really like the prospect of him. Same as some of the other ones. A lot of other ones in this draft class, though. The shorter arms, the smaller hands. It's kind of the dominating theme of this class. And it makes you kind of wonder how many of them will get put inward at guard. Ursary is one that can handle the bull rush. He can handle those guys. He's got good lateral agility. So he's one of those that can handle the outside and play tackle as well. But for the Bears' fit and scheme, I really like the idea of taking him, putting him at left guard, and letting him be next to Braxton Jones, our tackle. And if Braxton gets injured or something happens and he needs to move to the outside, then you can move him over. Kind of the same concept I said with Wyatt Milam. I'll get into all that in just a minute. But if you look here at the top, his number one comp, according to NFL Draft Buzz, Trey Smith out of Tennessee. Interesting. So here's where everybody has him going. Draft Tech, Todd McShay, CBS, they have him going very high at the end of the first round. I actually agree with that. And I agree with that because I see him as very, very, very similar placement as Kelvin Banks and Will Campbell. Now, there's a big gap with most places saying Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks, top 10, top 15, top. I put him right there with them. I've got all of them right there at the mid to late first round. I'm saying I would take him as a Bears fan anywhere in this 25-ish range all the way to, mid to end of second round. I'd take him anywhere in there, depending on how you feel he would fit your scheme, because he's such a good run blocking and pass blocking tackle. For the Bears, I would shift him in to guard. I'll get into that in a second with some of his feed here, some of his video. But you can see not a lot of pressures any one of these years. Only 12 pressures allowed, 13 pressures allowed, 10 pressures allowed. Overall, 35 pressures allowed in those 3 years at Minnesota on all these opportunities. So that's very good. Nothing to hesitate or worry about there, but mostly his size is such the big advantage. 6'6", 330 pounds. But like many of these guys, only 34-inch arms. And in fact, even at the Senior Bowl, he actually measured bigger. He's 6'5.5", so almost 6'6", and 339 pounds. So he's actually bigger than they had originally put him that there. So video I'm going to do a little bit different here. I'm going to do something a little bit different for this one. I'm going to take you straight down Twitter's feed on this prospect. Ariante Ursary, to me, is probably the best tackle in this class. Now, his arm length isn't any different than Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell's, but I think as a pure tackle prospect, he can play tackle still, but would probably be better set to move into guard. And so I'm just going to take you down some of Twitter's feed here, unlike some of the other ones. So here's some of the reps against Abdul Carter. We'll let that play here for a second. But you can see he handles pretty well. He's got really good lateral agility, so he can get out to the outside. He gets beat a little bit on pass pro set, so I think moving him into guard might be a little bit of a better option for him because he can struggle against some of those speed rushers that come off the outside, like Abdul Carter. Now, moving him inside will help. He still has the lateral agility. He just got to work on some of his inconsistencies with some of the stunts and blitzes. But the things that he has struggles with are things I think can easily be fixed with NFL coaching and just patience. You're not going to start him day one at tackle, but I would feel extremely confident starting him at left guard day one next to a tackle. Some of these guys that you force into left tackle day one, they struggle with that rookie season because they weren't quite NFL ready, but they had really good prospects. They were really good at the college level. Ursary is built like an NFL tackle, a huge size. But you see the comp on him? The comp on him is interesting because the comp on him is is none other than our fan favorite, our Bears fan favorite of Trey Smith from the Chiefs. So he's built just like Trey Smith. So right there, 6'5", 339 pounds, 9 3/8 hands. So he's got a little bit smaller hands. Well, there's him against Mike Green. We'll see in a second. He handles against Mike Green, and they're saying he's rising board, so he could go in the first round. So here's Landon Jackson. Oh, this is Mike Green first. We'll just let this roll. So there's against Mike Green, handles him pretty well. He doesn't ever get real bull rushed. He's got a good base already, and that's one of the biggest things sometimes you have to work with at the NFL level is that base, and he doesn't get bull rushed very often. He handles his own. He can get hit pretty hard and hold up. So I love him as a tackle prospect. But starting him guard day one is probably better. And then if Braxton Jones doesn't get re-signed, we can kick him out. Karan can continue to develop. One of these guys can come through. I mean, there's options. So I like the idea of drafting him. The problem is he's probably going to go at the end of the first round, most likely. There's so many good prospects at the end of the first round, beginning of the second round. If he fell to 39, I would have no hesitation. Say we take a nose tackle or an edge in the first round, and then we let him, if he drops to 39, he would definitely be on my big board. Draft him. Start him at left guard, right there with Braxton. If Braxton gets injured, you can kick him out. Same kind of thing I was saying about Wyatt Milam. You can kick Wyatt Milam out to tackle if Braxton got injured. If anything happened, you've got options there. You're still developing Karan as well. So, I mean, there's just so many good options when you look at these guys. So this is against Donovan Iziraku, who I like as well. Handles him really well right there. So some of these littler guys are no issue for him. It's just the speed rushers get into his chest just a little bit. So here they say he's as advertised. Man, I really like him a lot. He's a good prospect. He's good. So he's probably just going to go before we have a chance to get him, though. But he is a Tevin Jenkins, a Trey Smith. He can get out to the next level really, really well. When you watch him on run blocking schemes, man, he can get out there almost better than anybody. So here from this guy, whether Minnesota's offensive tackle Ariante Ursary sticks at tackle or whether he's best served inside at guard. Honestly, it's going to depend on the scheme. Regardless, the dude is a butt kicker. When he gets his paws on you, good luck. And I agree with that assertion as well. So here's some more of him at the Senior Bowl. So, big boy. Man, he moves big for a big boy. He's quick. I really like him a lot. He's one of my... I would have him right up there with Kelvin Banks and Will Campbell and probably above them as far as the Bears fit and scheme for him. I think he's really, especially for the run game, he's a really good fit. That was him handling Landon Jackson. So, I mean, really good prospect. I really like Ariante Ursary. So, big boy. Big boy, and it'd be a good fit. We could stick him at guard and have some big guards. You see how these teams are having bigger guards? We signed some of these littler guys, and they kind of get handled a little bit. And some of you guys say that same thing about Coleman Shelton, that Coleman Shelton's too small at center. The center's where they need to be the smallest. They need to be more agile and quick. But on the inside of the guards, you want those big guards that can move quickly, get out for the run blocking schemes, and still have a good base for pass pro. And I think Ariante Ursary is perfect for that. So I would love to start him at left guard this year. If something happens to Braxton, you can kick him out. Or he can stay there, and Karan can come in if he develops. There's just so many good options. I really like this kid. This is a good prospect to me. Love the prospect of this kid. So we'll see what the Bears can do. The problem is I just don't see him falling into a range where the Bears would get for him because he's too late in the first or too early in the second. If he fell at 39, great. Or maybe the Bears do feel like inclined to trade up from 39 into the late first if he hasn't gone and go after and get him. We'll see if the Bears fall in love with him like I have, but I really do like him for the prospect of filling that left guard. I would like him more than Tyler Booker at left guard. Yes, I know that's a shocker to some people, but that's kind of how I feel about him. So, good prospect. Let me know what you guys think, though. Never hurts to have those big guys that can contain, that can move. I really like the prospect. Are we going to take Ariante Ursray? We're probably not in the right position for him. As I said, I will release this one separately as well for those. So if you want to watch it twice, feel more than welcome to. I'll release it later tonight. But I do like the prospect of Ariante Ursray. You usually see it the other direction, too. You see them coming from tackle, getting moved into guard, not guard to tackle. But I kind of like the idea of starting him at guard. If he ends up being a home run, ends up being Trey Smith out of the gate, ends up being an all-pro, Pro Bowler who at left guard, he's not going to complain about staying there. But if you develop him there and move, it might help the Bears to do things a little bit differently than they have. He's got shorter arms, 34 inches. Not short, but it's guard short. So he may understand from year one if the Bears select him and start him at left guard. I don't think he'll complain that he's going to be a starter. And then if Braxton doesn't have the all-pro year and you move him out to left tackle, I don't think it's a bad option at all. There's a lot of options in this draft. We'll continue to go through them as we go through our profiles, but there are a ton of options in this draft. Like I said, I'll separate this one out, but Ariante Ursray is one that I would like to see the Bears get, especially if he falls to 39. Heck, I'm not opposed to us trading up to get him at the end of the first round if someone like, the Chiefs is willing to trade out of there. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's get to the fun part for you guys. As I promised, the giveaways. Let's do the giveaways here. Let's do the giveaway part, and let's pull this up. All right, thanks for being patient, guys. Again, hey, I'm going to say this. I appreciate every one of you guys. This channel's not possible without you guys. It's a lot of fun for me to do this. Thanks for hanging in there for Free Talk Tuesday. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, in the chat, in the bar, about building the trenches and whether it's completely obvious this year. That's what Ryan Poles is doing, because I have zero doubt. I don't think we're taking running back round one. Now, if the right one falls in round 2 or round 3, I think that's where they're really looking, but I think this is the year to take those trenches. Even, free agency trenches, we'll see what happens. But let's get to this. Let me move me off, and let's get to the giveaways. All right, so let's do this for the giveaways. I'm ready. You guys ready? I'm ready. 10,000 subscribers, and man, do I appreciate you guys. This has been a lot of fun. This has been a heck of a ride so far. To be able to get to 10,000 subscribers, to be able to have you guys be a part of this community, to be able to help me be a part of this community. It's only because of you that I have this channel and that I can share with you guys the news that I have, the information that I have, and the insights that I have that might be a little different than your mainstream media or your narratives that you see or hear. So I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this. Let's do these giveaways. First, we got the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I know I said we'd wait for the first major free agent signing. That's a month away. That's too long to wait. We already hit 10,000 subscribers, so we're going to let you guys choose. Whoever wins this, you have your choice of a Caleb Williams jersey, of a Rome Odunze jersey, whoever you want. You can wait. You can wait to claim it until after the draft if you want. If you want our first-round draft pick or our second-round, or whoever is your favorite draft pick that we pick, you can wait. You can pick a free agent signing. You can pick whoever you want. So we're just going to have the winner today. You choose it. I'll get it shipped to you, and you will be the winner of the jersey. And second, right here in the middle, the Rydell mini helmet. So that mini helmet, whatever one you choose, the easiest way is just going to be able to go on to Amazon, choose the one that you like. I will ship it out to you. In fact, I saw today, I'm not going to do the autographed ones. They're a little bit more expensive, you've seen, but there was one that was a good deal today. Tory Taylor autographed. It's only a little more expensive. It's like $60 or $70. A little more expensive than the normal Rydell helmets. So I think I'd be inclined to send you the Tory Taylor one if you chose today, if that's what you wanted. Go on to Amazon, check out the one you like, pick one out. I'll ship it out to you if you're the winner of the Rydell mini helmet. So let's start first with the jersey. Let's pull up here. Here is the list of our members that commented on that video. Okay, and what I did is I randomly selected 66 names throughout the comment thread, because that's what you had to do. You had to be subscribed, and you had to comment. So all these names down here, now they're in alphabetical now, but I did give some extra entries to those guys who did super chats on that video. You see Victor Perez did a $50 super chat. I gave him 10 extra slots. Sean O. Hillinger did a $5 super chat, so I gave him one extra one. So $5 for every extra slot. Call it fair, call it not fair, whatever. These guys are helping support the channel. So gave him 10 extra slots here for Victor Perez. Sean O'Hillinger, I gave him one extra one, and everybody else was just random throughout. So all these names here, you can see your slot. If you see it, we'll scroll through before it's done. Check out where you might see your name, because once I randomly did those 66, I then put them in alphabetical order. Okay, so they're all alphabetical after that point. See here down at the bottom, last one is Z Sloan .421. So pull this up. Here's our random number generator. All it is just random numbers. 66, 1 through 66 is our random numbers. We're going to go ahead and hit this button, and whoever's number falls in that slot will win the jersey giveaway. I'm always going to do this transparent and open, do it right in front of you guys and show you what I do when I do these types of things. So here's our first one. Drum roll. I know this might be a little loud. Sorry about that, guys. Drum roll, please. First winner of the jersey, Bear Down Sports, is number 16. Number 16 is the first winner of a jersey, and that correlates to Dobbsy34. So Dobbsy34, hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on email. Any way you slice it. We're going to make this home. We're going to make this our winner. So in the green, Dobbsy, you're our winner of the jersey. Jersey winner. Yay. All right, Dobbsy. Congrats, man. Appreciate you tuning in, or woman. I can't remember. Sorry. I should know. I've seen your comments. I know you're a regular, so I appreciate you always being a member of the channel. All right. Next one, let's go here. We're going to switch this over to make this a little bit bigger. Scroll it down a little bit. Boom. All right, next one up, we're going to do the Rydell helmet. So this is for the Bear Down members. Those who have joined as members only. I said once we hit 25, you've got a couple of exclusive content things so far. You've got a couple of videos before anybody else gets them. Those videos will be released to everybody before the draft, but a couple of videos on specific players that are hidden from everybody except our members. I do appreciate the members quite a bit. It's going to help this channel grow, especially before I have a sponsorship. I haven't found the right sponsor yet, but Rydell mini helmet is next. We're going to go ahead and do that one. And the first 25 members were Nick Sartini, Carol Montgomery, Longhorn Jeff, Sam L., Wally Bismarck, Dominique Leroux, Robert J. Stenzel, Andrew Vin 23, Blue Bay, Burns Dick, Redeemed Gentile 717, Midway Monster, Victor Perez, Mike O'Connor, Richard Craddock, Dave S., Relentless Mikey, Dark to Light, Max Cadena, Pitor, Danny W., G. Mike, Creighton Wilfong, Bob Billings, John Kaiser, John Kaiser, and Justin Hill. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pull up our random number generator. We're going to change this to 25 for the first 25. And we're going to do the drum roll again. This is for the Rydell mini helmet. Sorry if that's loud in your ears. I apologize. And our winner of the Rydell mini helmet is 19. 19 is Pitor. Pitor, you are our winner of the Rydell mini helmet. Make that one green as well. Boom. Rydell mini helmet. So, appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Hit me up on Twitter, Adam H. Mason, at Adam H. Mason, or Gmail, adamhmason at gmail.com. You guys are our winners. So we got first right here. We got Dobbsy as the winner of the jersey, and we got Pitor as the winner of the Rydell mini helmet. So Dobbsy, Pitor. You guys are awesome. So that's going to do it for this episode, this Free Talk Tuesday episode of Bear Down Sports. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Let me know your thoughts and comments about building this team brick by brick. It's pretty obvious, right? We're gonna go trenches this year. This fan base has been calling for it. Everybody's saying it. It's becoming clear, logical. Yes, we got to sprinkle in some other things. Running back, maybe a wide receiver 5, maybe a safety. Excuse me, maybe some other positions. But there's a pretty clear and obvious need for this team to build brick by brick on the offensive and defensive lines, especially in the draft. Maybe a little bit through free agency. We'll see what they shore up. We showed all the needs on here. A lot coming up. There's going to be a lot more to come. We are less than 4 weeks away from free agency. We're just over 2 months away from the draft. We are a little less than 2 months away, a month and a half away from the No, not even that far. Ooh, the combine's coming up quick. Very quick. Coming up quick. Ooh. I'm actually going to be at spring training baseball as that gets underway at the end of this month. I'll be there watching the Cubs. If anybody's going to spring training, let me know. We'll see if we can hit up at one of the games. We'll see. I'm going to be there with a couple friends as well. But I'll be there at the beginning, 27th through March 2nd. Anyways, that's a lot of fun. I like going to that. But I'm going to take my computer down, be doing my videos every day, going to be sticking with it. Appreciate you guys. We're at over 10,000 subscribers. That's absolutely phenomenal and bizarre to me at the same time. I'd love to see if we could stack a couple thousand more on before the draft. That'd be fun. Let your friends know about the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Try to do some fun things like Free Talk Tuesday. Try to give you informative stuff every day. Next mock draft is coming out tomorrow morning, and it's going to be based around some of the things you saw in the video today. So you'll see that as you watch it tomorrow morning. I will release the Ariante Airsory part of this separately tonight if you want to watch that. Appreciate those who like, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment. It all helps with the algorithm. It helps this channel to grow, helps me to grow with it. Still just a baby channel. I still think it's a baby channel. A lot to learn, a lot to grow and do. Your guys' comments I take seriously and I take to heart. And these Free Talk Tuesdays is where I talk about this kind of stuff. The stuff you guys want to see is what I try to adapt and do. I've always kind of been the stats and nerdy analyst type of guy. That's how this channel got started. I'm always going to stick with that, try to share some things from PFF, try to share some grading, some different insight, maybe some things you don't see from your mainstream guys. That's what I try to do with this channel. I will always try to keep being authentic and bringing that to you. I'm not going to change that aspect of this channel. I will try to grow this channel with you guys to be a channel with normal, regular fans just like me and you. So I appreciate you being a part of it. For those who won, the Rydell helmet, for those who won the jersey, hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on email. Adam H. Mason on both. AdamHMason at gmail.com, at Adam H. Mason on Twitter. I want to get those to you guys, get them to you as soon as we can. Let me know if you want to wait for the jersey for the first round. That's fine. We'll hold off on it, but it's up to you guys. So appreciate you guys building this team brick by brick, viewer by viewer with me. Ryan Poles, let's do it right this year, baby. We got this. We've got the ability. We're going to do it. I have faith in the Bears. Again, I'm not going to make predictions this year, but let's hope we make the right moves to be headed towards what we just saw the Eagles experience, because, man, we deserve it as Bears fans. We deserve to have that feeling of jubilation, excitement, and joy. I think it's coming. I do. It's 40 years in the making. I feel like it's coming. Maybe not this year, but it's coming around the corner, and that's a realistic take on my part. So with that, again, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Da Bear. Oh, we got a lot coming up. Carl on Thursday. Da Bears and Bear Down.